take a look at our tail of the tape. For our main event, you see the reach advantage in favor of Dallas, very similar age and height as well. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Beau Rivage Resort Casino here in Biloxi, Mississippi, it's time for your PBC and FS1 Fight Night main event of the evening. 12 rounds in the welterweight division, brought to you by TGB Promotions, sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Your three judges scoring this contest will be Jay Dees, Keith Hughes, and David Toronto. The referee in charge with the bell sounds is Bill Clancy. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he comes in wearing the purple trunks with the gold, weighing officially at 147 pounds. His record, 23 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bakersfield, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike, the Silent Assassin, Dalls Jr. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the black and white, weighing officially at 146 and 1/2 pounds. His record, 24 wins, 11 of those coming by way of knockout against 4 losses. Joining us from Santiago de Cuba. He is currently among the elite in the welterweight division. Here is Yordenis Ugas. Chapman, who was a part of the Chicago Cubs World Series run back in 2016, with Yordenis Ugas here tonight.
I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. You must obey my commands. Punches here, bueno. Punches here, good too. Okay? Touch him up, good luck, God bless.
Yordenis Ugas is fighting with a heavy heart, much like the rest of the world, as he took a photo with Kobe Bryant, who passed away last Sunday. He met him at the Beijing Olympics in 2008 during the opening ceremonies, and Ugas said on social media that it was a dream come true to meet his favorite basketball player, and the world still mourning the loss of Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to the Mamba, and he has the Mamba on his shorts. Mamba mentality is what he has entering the ring here tonight. So our thoughts and prayers go to the entire family of Kobe Bryant, as the world is still feeling the effects.
Definitely is.
Round 1, this one is scheduled for 12. Yordenis Ugas said his next fight, he wants to fight for a world title. He doesn't want the rematch with Sean Porter just yet. He said, I want someone who has gold around their waist, and that is my focus.
Yeah, he's dedicated on the world title right now. He doesn't want any fights without a world title after this.
Well, Ugas, a big right hand starting off the action. Ugas actually moved here to the United States in March of 2010, so he's been here for nearly 10 years, and he did it to better his family and to pursue a career as a professional prize fighter. And so far, so good for Yordenis Ugas. He's coming off of a victory over Omar Figueroa Jr. back in July in the co-main event of your card against Manny Pacquiao in Las Vegas, Keith.
And Mike Dallas just hit him with a straight right. That got Ugas' attention for sure.
Well, Mike Dallas has come up short against the likes of Lucas Matisse, Josecito Lopez as well, but in his last 5 fights, he is unbeaten.
Yeah, he might be unbeaten, but, you know, he wasn't fighting fighters of this caliber. So this is definitely a step up for Mike Dallas.
The size difference is eye-catching, Anthony, as you see that Ugas is clearly the bigger man. Time being called.
There was a low blow right there.
Accidental. Walk it off, Mike. Walk it off.
Take a look at the accidental shot below. Ooh, that was well below the belt.
It was real low. And the cup will rise up and it'll really get you.
I know.
That's something that I wish upon no man.
It's accidental.
No.
You got time. Take your time. Take your time.
Doesn't feel good.
Just don't retaliate because it was accidental, okay? Okay? You got plenty of time, so take your time.
Bill Clancy told Mike Dallas, take your time, I don't want any retaliation.
Definitely, you know, he's engaging with him, let him know that, you know, when this happens, you know, he technically, a lot of people don't know at home, but a fighter is given up to 5 minutes sometimes to recover. You know, especially if maybe something is like a knockout punch to the groins, pretty much, you know.
Or non-intentional.
And it was non-intentional. He wasn't bent over. It obviously didn't feel good. But here we are, back in action.
Also, Mike Dallas Jr. wearing the gold with the purple, a tribute to Kobe Bryant and Laker colors. So again, the world's still feeling the effect of the Mamba passing away last Sunday. And Bakersfield is about an hour and 20 minutes away from Los Angeles, so clearly Dallas felt that effect.
This is the 4th live appearance that I've been at when it comes to Yordenis Ugas. And in the first round, I gotta admit, you know, he's throwing that overhand right, really throwing that overhand right. I don't know if it's that he wants a knockout or if he saw that Mike Dallas got stopped against Lucas Matisse with that same punch, because a lot of times he's not coming out swinging that big in round 1.
Well, it could very well, Keith, be the mindset of, I want to make a statement, I want to finish this guy early.
And it could be, but you still got to be patient. Like, he just got caught with the hook trying to throw the overhand right, but you still got to be cautious of a guy in there that's been fighting 11 years.
Overhand right, that connected by Ugas. Oh, left hook, shaking up Mike Dallas. Ugas applying the pressure early. And that's the end of the first. Welcome back to PBC Fight Night here in Biloxi. And as we go ahead, tonight's Corner Cam is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
It's a little headbutt. It's not a big cut. You're being taken care of. 2 jabs and then the right, okay? Let's pick it up a little more in the second round.
Well, a cut right on his forehead, and Anthony, you pointed that out earlier, in between
the eyes. It shouldn't be a factor. I think the blood shouldn't run in his eyes, so we'll see.
Ugas with that jab followed by a right to the body.
He's been constantly pressuring Dallas from the start of the first round, the start of this round. You know, he feels like the bigger, stronger guy in there, and he's making his presence felt.
Fox.
Right now, Mike Dallas is trying to gain the respect of Yordenis Ugas. Ugas, who isn't known as a knockout puncher, has a knockout percentage of under 40%. But he's starting off faster than what he typically does, Keith.
He sure is, and he caught Dallas with a few punches that I think shook him. And I think Ugas could see that as well. And he's doing it in a very calm and a patient way. You know, it's the experience. But definitely, he's just looking to land a big punch.
Left hook to the body by Ugas. Ugas is stalking Mike Dallas Jr.
And he's not throwing that overhand like he was in the first round. I think he's calmed down a little bit and placing his punches right where they need to be.
Well, he landed a big right hand as Dallas has his back on the ropes. Ugas is in control, and now he's trying to muscle and walk down Mike Dallas Jr. more.
Definitely, just walking him down, keeping his hands up, slight head movement.
Step.
And still, they have gotten that cut under control. An accidental clash of heads caused the laceration between the eyes of Yordenis Ugas on his forehead.
A small combination Dallas got in.
Grab his head, Mike.
Dallas is landing a few punches, but I don't think they're effective as these punches that he's getting.
Grab his head.
Dallas holding the head down of Ugas.
Let him go, Mike.
Dallas has about 2 years more experience than Ugas as a professional. They both are 33 years of age. Ugas, though, does not look 33. He looks a lot younger and sharper.
Watch that elbow, Mike.
And Mike is actually fighting here. He's not sitting.
There's a right hand that shook up Mike Dallas Jr.
And it seemed like he took it very well.
Both are exchanging at close distance.
10 seconds.
Dallas fighting off the ropes.
No. Turn around. 5 seconds. Bell's coming. Stop at the bell.
that's the end of the round as Yordenis Ugas in control. Welcome back to PBC Fight Night. Gentlemen, take us through what you're seeing.
Ugas just landing that right. He's landing to that wheel.
Just well placed, right on the chin there. That's the kind of punch that he needs. Don't worry about the looping one too much. Maybe add it in there every once in a while just for the change up, just like they do in baseball. You know, you can't throw the same pitch every single time.
And speaking of baseball, Aroldis Chapman, the six-time All-Star, who was a part of the 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series run, watching his very good friend Yordenis Ugas here in our main event here in Biloxi. And that second round was big for Ugas. He landed 20 punches in the second, so he's starting to take over.
Yeah, but Dallas coming out strong at the start of this third round. You know, obviously Ugas is well composed. He's not feeling the weight of those punches, but he is getting caught a little bit. So far, so good for Dallas at the start of this round.
You know, Anthony, what impressed me about Mike Dallas is he said coming into this fight, he likes to be the underdog. He goes, I'm more nervous for tune-up fights than what I am fighting on a stage of this magnitude.
Yeah, because he know with the tune-up fights, he was supposed to beat those guys, so he didn't want to let his city down or anybody that he was with down. So he's happy to be the underdog right now, and he's looking forward for the upset.
Is it better to be more the underdog? Not that you guys have been underdogs in many of your fights, if any, but is it better to be more the underdog, or is it better to be the favorite, or does it not matter at the end of the day?
You know, boxing is an individual sport. You know, at the end of the day, it really comes down to the fighter. You know, when we talked to Mike Dallas the other day, Michael straight up told us that, you know, he has these nerves and he's aware of them. So he just feels like being the underdog, there's nothing to lose.
And here is an inadvertent shot below the belt. That looked right on the belt line, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't right on where it was at.
But a lot of people might not be aware that any shot that hits the cup, you know,
it alters
it engages.
Yes, indeed.
The cup.
It engages a low blow, even if it's at the waistline.
Well, I wonder now if Bill Clancy's giving him some time. He has upwards of 5 minutes.
Don't retaliate, okay? Box.
Bill Clancy telling Dallas to not retaliate. 100 seconds to go here in the third.
And he makes it very clear, don't retaliate.
And there's a straight left by Mike Dallas, and now he switches to back to conventional. I love the defense from Ugas. He has such a tight guard, and it reminds me similar in a little bit of a different way. It's lower, but Winky Wright, a man who you know well, who had a tight guard. Ugas has a tight guard, but it's lower, but he has such big forearms and biceps that it covers a lot of his face and his body.
Yeah, that was very unique about Winky, was the way that his hands could be up and his elbows could be so low. And Ugas has a similar body structure when he's in the ring.
Yeah, I don't think nobody doing like Winky. You got caught with a big overhand right there.
Mike Dallas didn't like that too well. He's hurt, and that's why he's trying to tie up with Yordenis Ugas. Dallas's punches don't have much of an effect upon Ugas. He's like slapping almost at Ugas, whereas Ugas is sitting down in his shots, and you hear the thud here at ringside.
Yeah, Mike is in there. He's fighting. He's not backing down from nothing that Ugas is bringing. You know, he's right there in the pocket. He's fighting. He's moving a little bit, but he's still punching.
Ugas in control tonight against Mike Dallas as he's unloading a barrage of punches, a left hook upstairs as we head towards the end of the round. We are back here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Bob Santos working on the cut of Yordenis Ugas. Ugas has landed 2/3 as many punches as Dallas has thrown. Ugas has landed 63. Dallas has thrown a combined 97 punches. That just goes to show you the disparity numerically between the two.
Yes, I mean, Ugas is very confident. You know, his last fight was up against an undefeated fighter, and he was victorious. So for him, you know, this is just another show, another come out, staying busy, and he wants to be impressive.
Anthony, we asked Yordenis Ugas, why take this fight? He goes, look, I want to stay busy and stay sharp. I think that speaks volumes as the kind of competitor that Yordenis Ugas is.
It is. He don't want to get rusty for when his time comes for the world title. He want to be ready at all time. And we asked him in the fighter meeting yesterday, does he get out the gym? He said no. He's always doing something. So that's good for him. And hopefully he'll get a shot at a world title.
Is ring rust a thing in your opinion, gentlemen?
Yes, I can just definitely talk about this subject from the 22 months of inactivity before I've
you fought Josecito Lopez.
And I was 2.5 years, so it definitely is ring rust. Like he said, it gets you. You have to get in there and get hit a little bit. It's not the same as sparring, but you get that ring rust off in that one fight.
And there's a lot of fighters that really don't want to admit it, but it's like if you don't use it, you lose it. There's some truth to that statement.
Was it also a case, and a big right hand for Ugas as he continues to stalk Mike Dallas, that when you have a guy who hits you, your punch resistance goes down a little bit because you're not used to getting hit in the face at full speed over the course of however long you were out?
Well, that's why you got to get back in the gym. You got to get that sparring. But still, if you've been out of the ring, you've been out of the ring, and it takes time. So Ugas does not want to be out of the ring. That's why he took this fight, and that's why he's throwing these punches. He's staying active. I mean, he's showing us his skills and talent.
And
why
he don't have
he's one of the elite welterweights of the division today.
And he don't have somebody in there that's just laying down. He wants to fight. He wants to end this fight, as we can tell.
Ugas' experience with the 08 Olympics. He's engaging, and then he's backing up at the right times. He's not just sitting there trading, taking damage.
Yordenis Ugas very surgical-like in his pursuit as he is dissecting Mike Dallas Jr. Dallas came to fight, but Ugas is trying to take away the fight from Mike Dallas. Keith, you brought up a great point in our production meeting last night. We will talk about that as we head towards the fifth, comparing Yordenis Ugas to a fellow Cuban fighter. We'll get into that as we head towards the fifth.
5 seconds. Bell's coming.
Round 4 is drawn to a close. Anthony Durrell, as you see that Yordenis Ugas, he's landed at least 20 punches in the last 3 rounds. And now let's send it to Jordan Platt with more in the corner.
Ray, thank you. Trainer Salas, Dallas is moving to his left with his left, moving to his right with his left hand down alive and being lazy with that front hand. Is that why Ugas is really throwing his right hand, and is that part of the game plan?
We're working with Ugas about the right and counter right, because actually he's always moving to only one side, if you can see. So he can take all the right Ugas throw. So see, now we are fine. We are controlling all the fight. But here we cannot be careless. This is my point with Ugas. Cannot be careless. He needs to be focused in the job he's doing and keep chopping down the guy until he got the guy.
Thank you, Coach. Ray, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Do you like the fact that they've been working on the right hand, the counter right hand from the Ugas camp?
Yeah, I do. I think that's one of his main punches. As you can see in his previous fights, that counter right hand over that lazy jab that someone throws. And he hits a lot of people with it.
Well, Yordenis Ugas has gotten the victory over the likes of Jamal James, also Amat Figueroa Jr. The left hook that connected for Ugas as we are coming up on the halfway point of the 5th round. For Mike Dallas Jr., though, I think with his performance here tonight, it hasn't been mesmerizing, but I think it sets himself up to get another payday, at least with how he's looked. He's given some resistance to Yordenis Ugas.
Yeah, he's taking he's fighting. He's not coming in here to lay down.
When Dallas is in shape,
he's just slightly, outclassed here.
It's almost like having 1 or 2 weapons compared to dealing with someone who's a Swiss Army knife.
I mean, he's just in there with a big welterweight, you know, who's got tons of experience. He's been, you know, he's fought Sean Porter. His last opposition was undefeated before his loss of last year. Yordenis Ugas was just rolling through the welterweight division. You know, he was making some upsets, and he was really making a name for himself.
Well, speaking of dealing with upsets or surprising people, you said, Keith, that Yordenis Ugas reminds you of what Cuban fighter?
Larry Lara. You know, it's something about when you watch Cubans fight, you know. I mean, it's just the poise. You know, I believe Lara is more of a mover, you know, but when it comes to just the fundamentals.
Big right hand! Down goes Dallas, but it was ruled a slip.
I think he hit him that fight. I don't know if it was behind the head, but
I think it was a little behind the head, actually.
Yeah, I thought so, to a push behind the head.
Let's take a look back on what was ruled a slip by referee in charge Bill Clancy.
Yeah, it was a push. It was a sort of push, but he still, you could have countered it either way.
Was it the right call from Bill Clancy?
Yeah, he didn't even touch him.
Yeah, that was a shove.
That was a push.
So Bill Clancy had it right. And going down. Also, you heard in between rounds that Bill Clancy said to one, as we take a look, for those of you tuning in for FS1 College Hoops, with number 20 Colorado facing USC, it is currently airing on FS2 and the FOX Sports that will get you up to College Hoops game immediately following our main event. So stick with us. If you are waiting for Colorado and USC, that is coming up next after our main event. Right now, though, Yordenis Ugas, I would say, probably has a 15-point lead if we're talking in terms of college buckets right now.
Definitely. He's doing what he needs to do. He's doing what he want to do in this fight.
It's definitely a blowout, shutout so far, and he's just being smart, you know.
Ugas attacking the body, but getting back to the point that I wanted to make. Bill Clancy, the referee, went to the court of Mike Dallas and said, hey, your cup is high, so you got to be aware of that. But Dallas fighting out with more fervor here in the 6th.
Yeah, I actually could hear some of those punches. It's like they turned it up. Dallas wants to be felt in this fight. He's trying to get the respect here. He's tired of being pushed around.
An overhand right by Yordenis Ugas. All that took to the body.
Two of them.
There's a right hand by Ugas.
Let him out. Box.
And you see the power punches landed 80 compared to just 27. That is probably 2/3 of the way in favor of Yordenis Ugas.
Step out.
80 seconds left here in the 6th. At this stage of the fight, guys, should it be on the corner to tell Ugas, all right, pick up the intensity. Let's finish off this guy. You got some rounds. Let's go home now.
I don't think it's too much more he can, pick up. He's pressing the fight. He's hitting him with kind of what he wants. I don't see him picking it up no more.
Yeah, he's going upstairs. He's going downstairs. You know, this is why I said he kind of reminds me of Larry Lara, because Lara had tremendous skills, but just they're not known to be knockout punchers. Both of these fighters, Dallas and Ugas, have 11 KOs throughout their careers.
Well, Ugas in his last 6 fights, half of those have come by stoppage. So we'll see if Ugas can try to do the same and make it 4 of 7 victories by stoppage.
I think he needs to get the stoppage, to be impressive, to get that world title fight.
There's a big right hand by Ugas, followed by a left hook to the body.
Go for his head, Mike. Go for his head. Stop. 10 segundos. 10 seconds.
Final moments of the 6th.
5 seconds. Bell's coming. Stop the bell.
We are halfway home. Yordenis Ugas looks to be relaxed and in total control.
those body shots that he's been doing all night, you know. But even though he's dominated this fight, I still was kind of impressed with the effort that Dallas put in that last round. I feel like he's somehow feeling a little bit more comfortable. He was throwing 4-punch combinations. He's getting the first punches in on this round, but it's the pressure from Ugas. It's the consistency from Ugas, which is allowing him to dominate this fight.
Let's send it to Marcos Villegas, who has the fight score thus far through the first half.
Hey, Ray, I got it 60-54. Now, look, you know, Mike Dallas is getting his licks in. Thing is, he's just not getting enough of them in. You know, he's getting outworked, outpointed by Ugas, and Ugas is landing the better punches. You know, what's really impressing me and giving me these rounds and for Ugas is all that plus the work that he's putting to the body. When he lands shots to the body, you could just hear it from here ringside.
Getting his licks in. I like that from Marcos Villegas. That's an old school term.
Definitely, that's what I was saying, you know. It's not like Dallas is not fighting back. You know, he's just in a situation where he's kind of being pushed around. He's being a little dominated. He's being outpunched. He's being outscored. But he's still here to fight.
Anthony, what can Mike Dallas do to try to swing this fight or have some moments of success, in your opinion?
He probably can feint more. You know, use a couple more feints, make Ugas, you know, commit a little bit more, and then counter punch him right then, because he's fast still. You know, he's moving very well. He's punching very well, but he's just not getting enough aim.
Well, this is Mike Dallas's third 12-round fight of his career. He's 1-1 in that span. Both fights ended in a knockout. Now Dallas is being the aggressor. He unloaded on the body of Ugas.
And there's those licks in that we were talking about.
There's a right hand from Mike Dallas. But Yordenis Ugas still in stalking destroy mode. But Dallas stepped up and he threw a 1-2 down the center and it connected. Under a minute left.
That's where the feints are coming in at. You know, if you feint him, he's going to commit to a big punch because he thinks he can hit you, and that's when you counter punch.
A right hand on the jaw that staggered Dallas, and now Ugas pressing Dallas against the ropes. Dallas wisely tied up and got separated. There's a left hook. Now Ugas is really picking up the pace. A left hook. Going downstairs as Ugas, a left cross.
It's in moments like these that just neutralize everything that Dallas is doing. He's spending too much time on the ropes. Eventually Ugas throws a few body shots, gets a few headshots, and then he gets to walk away with all the credit.
Anthony, how debilitating mentally is that for Mike Dallas? He was having some success, and then Ugas unloaded and cracked him, and then took back the momentum.
It could be real mentally draining because you did a lot in that round, and he just come back and take the round like that.
Let's take a look back on some of the action from the 7th. Here's Mike Dallas, who had some success in the 7th.
A clean 1-2 straight down the pipe. He needs more of that.
But back came Ugas as to say, no, this was mine, and the corner has waved it off. This one is over. The corner has said, Bill Clancy has told me the corner and pulled him out. This one is over. Yordenis Ugas gets the stoppage victory at the end of the 7th. So Ugas looked impressive as he improves his record to 25-4. The Cuban bronze medalist successful before his very good friend, Major League Baseball standout Yordenis Chapman. Welcome back as Yordenis Ugas methodically defeats his opponent here tonight in Mike Dallas Jr. And why did they stop the fight? Here's Jordan Plant.
Ray, thank you. I spoke to his corner, and they are looking out for his best interest, guys. They said that he was taking way too much punishment, big shots, and they want to see him live another day. Ray?
Thank you very much, Jordan. Gentlemen, do you agree with that sentiment?
I agree with it. I agree. I think he was taking a lot of punishment. He was fighting back, but he still was taking too much punishment. It was good that his trainer stopped it.
Yeah, you know, he definitely was fighting back. I thought he was even doing pretty decent, but at the end of the day, he's being dominated, he's being outworked, he's being outlanded, and the spread is just too big. You know, Dallas would need a knockout for the win, and, you know, when you have people that care for you, you know, you can get emotional, you can have an opinion about it, but at the end of the day, you know, they have your best interest at heart.
And that's the people you want to keep around.
And let's take a look at the numbers of this one-sided affair. Yordenis Ugas, 38% connect percentage, total punches. Gentlemen, look at the disparity.
I think he just came in there and did kind of what he wanted to do. He was a little anxious from the first round, but after that he relaxed and got in there and did what he needed to do. Looked like the Ugas of last fight.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, you know, he's not being outthrown a whole lot, but he definitely is being outlanded a lot. About 3 times as much. So at that perspective, you can understand why the corner did what they did.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 3 minutes of round 7. The court of Mike Dallas Jr. has waved off the contest for your winner by technical knockout from Cuba, Yordenis Ugas. So Yordenis Ugas victorious here tonight as he goes ahead and walks right through Mike Dallas Jr. What a night of action here this evening with Ugas getting the W, and now he has his sights set on fighting for a world title in the near future.